Confronting the unknown, conquering your fears, there's nothing harder. Beetlejuice!
What the f***? Thank you all for coming to this special occasion, but right now we'd like a little privacy.
How's it going up there, YouTube land and also social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out a couple weeks ago and is a 36 years in the making sequel, so we're going to get right into it. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my little social media platform, such as X, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, TikTok. Pretty much most of them. I'm usually on them, so definitely check them out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out last week and is a 36 years in the making sequel called Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Yeah! Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, yeah. So the sequel to Beetlejuice from 1988 finally got a sequel. Only took about 40 years to get it. But, you know, I know a lot of people are like, we need to stop doing sequels. We need to do more things, original ideas. Well, you know what? I hate to tell you, but this was definitely worth 40 years in the making. This is a really fantastic film. I really enjoyed it. Great cast, great directing, great visuals. Everything about this film was just done so well. And I absolutely love that, you know, they decided to try to keep it as much as traditional as they could compared to the original film. I love that they went back to using the claymation and the animatronics and stuff like that and tried to use less visual effects, you know, of the computer age for this film. And I thought that was a really clever, and it really pulled it off for this film. Now, this film is none other directed by a gentleman who goes by the name of Mr. Tim Burton. Oh yeah, Tim Burton, woo, Tim Burton, yeah! So Tim Burton, you might recognize, of course, as the director of the original Beetlejuice. You might recognize him as the director of the 2019 Dumbo. You might recognize him as part of A Nightmare Before Christmas. You might recognize him from a slew of things he's done over the years, Edward Scissorhands, you know, several other things, Frankenweenie and so forth. And he is just a really great director that does a lot of great, like, horror theme directing. You know, he does a lot of films that are very eccentric, very horror related, a lot of things that are very mystifying, I would say, and, you know, kind of along the lines of like how Stephen King writes lots of horror films and horror books and stuff like that, and, you know, that type of genre, Eli Roth, so forth. And Tim Burton is just a really excellent director. I've always enjoyed everything he brings to life. I love his kookiness to his films, and I just love what he does with his films because I feel he has a really good eye for films. And I think that he also does a really good job at giving us really good, you know, people to bring out some great special effects. He gives us always the great music with Danny Elfman, and he always gives us just a lot of great things that makes his films enjoyable. And I think that's what he really did with Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. I really felt that he really brought back that passion he had for making films again. Because I don't know if you remember, a little while ago, he was kind of saying he was kind of felt like he was done with doing films, you know, after doing Dumbo for Disney, because Disney really burned a lot of bridges with him. So I feel that, you know, he kind of had lost his zeal, and by doing this film, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, he really got that back. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Tim Burton has directed, definitely a great film to check out of his that came out in 1999, and also is a Johnny Depp-led film called Sleepy Hollow. Yeah! Sleepy Hollow. Yeah! This is a great film, amazing film done by Tim Burton. Really shows his directing style, but with a great all-star cast. I mean, Christina Ricci, we have Johnny Depp, Michael Gambon, you know, lots of other great people, Miranda Richardson and so forth, even Jeffrey Jones. And, you know, one of the things about, you know, Sleepy Hollow is I love the fact that he took a dark approach to the film, you know, and really gave us this really gory but yet really fun and even I felt family-friendly type of Sleepy Hollow version still, even though it had so much blood and gore and stuff in it. And I really enjoyed what Tim did with this film, and I just, like I said, really feel it shows his great creative talents and how good of a director he is, because he got some really great action sequences throughout that film. He got a lot of great mystery throughout the film. The storytelling was done really well, and it was a really great adaptation of, you know, Irving's story that really, I thought, transcended that whole story and gave us this whole new story. And Tim just does a great job of giving that life and giving us a really solid film. If you haven't seen anything else Tim Burton has directed, definitely check out Sleepy Hollow. He did a really great job with it. But overall, with the film Beetlejuice, I thought he knocked it out of the park again. He got that zeal back, and I just think that he really brought it to life again. And I absolutely, like I said, I love that they brought back the classic effects, like a lot of the scenes with, you know, Beetlejuice himself. Those same special effects he used in '88 were used in this. And I love that it had that claymation look and all that kind of stuff, and it just made it look and really brought you back to that time frame again and gave you a really great idea of the Beetlejuice universe again. And I think Tim, like no other, is the only one to really show the great world of Beetlejuice. If you haven't seen anything Tim Burton's directed, go check out Beetlejuice in theaters now. He did a phenomenal job. So this movie has a really great cast. Absolutely love the cast in this film. A lot of people returning from the original film from '88. Of course, there are a few people that are missing from that, which of course are the Maitlands, played by, of course, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. We don't get to see them in the film, but they are mentioned in the film. I won't tell you exactly what they tell about it, especially if you haven't seen the film yet, but they are mentioned and are kind of given a proper kind of send-off, as you know, as well. Of course, Jeffrey Jones is not in this film. If you're not familiar with Jeffrey Jones' story over the last 20 years, he's had some serious kind of trouble with certain things, so he wasn't brought back to return play his character of Lydia Deet's dad or Catherine O'Hara's character's husband, but he still was referenced, had a part in the film, and still done really well. Now, this film, like I said, is just so super fantastic. Great cast, and this cast just can't get any better than this. So to start us off in this cast, of course, is one of the main characters themselves, Beetlejuice himself, Mr. Michael Keaton. Oh yeah, Michael Keaton. Woo, Michael Keaton, yeah. So Michael Keaton is amazing. He's awesome. Absolutely love him. I mean, he really brought back his career when he did Birdman in 2014. He's over the years has done a lot of other films as well. He was in The Other Guys. He was in Post Grad. And, I mean, he's done a lot of great things, and he's just a really great actor. And I've always really enjoyed him. I mean, from his early days to, you know, his slower days and so forth. I just think that he's a very underrated actor that, once again, proved he was so amazing when he did Birdman in 2014. And I just loved him in everything that he's done since. And I think that he was exactly, you know, what we needed for Beetlejuice, and his original interpretation really was brought to life again in this new film, and he just kicked it out of the park again. He just did such a great job. The look and everything about it, his mannerisms, everything about Beetlejuice was and returned. And it just was so well done by Michael, and he just really knocked it out of the park and gave us a great performance again. And even all the new characters and all the different people that he had to rework with, they all acted like they hadn't, you know, that it was just 5 minutes ago that the last time they worked on a movie together. It just was so well done, and they all worked so well together, and I thought that was really impressive. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Michael Keaton has been, definitely a great film to check out of his is a great film that came out in 1996 called Multiplicity. Yeah! Multiplicity. Yeah! This is absolutely a great film. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was fantastic. Really well done. And just overall, I thought that He did such a amazing job with this film. It's so super funny. Absolutely love the whole premise of the film, that he clones himself to help him to with his life and stuff like that, and kind of the craziness that ensues from him cloning himself. And Andy McDowell is amazing in it, and Eugene Levy, and all the different people, Richard Masur, were all fantastic in this film. But Michael was so amazing as the three different versions of himself, from the work guy to the house guy to the copy of a copy guy. Number 4, he was utterly fantastic and hilarious, especially as number 4. Oh my god, it was so freaking hilarious. And that movie, I kid you not, I feel really shows how talented Michael Keaton is with all the things he does as those 3 different characters. He was absolutely phenomenal at them. If you have not seen Multiplicity, check out Michael Keaton's performance in it. It was fantastic, phenomenal, one of his best performances besides this film to date. But overall, I really enjoyed him once again returning as Beetlejuice. He did a great job. We had a lot of great things in this film from him, and he just brought it once again. I think the interesting part, too, though, is the fact that I remember when the film was first being told it was coming out and they were filming, Michael Keaton said that I want more time, Tim, and that I want to be in the film more. And recently, after the film came out, and when, right prior up to it being released, he was saying that he actually only did the 18 minutes again like he did with the first film. And I was really surprised by that, and I was shocked that he went from saying one thing to saying another thing. So I'm not 100% sure if that's exactly accurate, because I feel in this film he definitely got more screen time than he did in the first film. So it'll be interesting to actually check that out and see what that's about. But supposedly it's only 18 minutes we see Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice Beetlejuice along with the original Beetlejuice. So there's something for you, a little factoid, guys. But if you enjoyed Michael Keaton, definitely go check him out in Beetlejuice Beetlejuice in theaters now. He was fantastic. So that brings me to the next actor I like to talk about in this film, and that is none other than an amazing actress who has risen up from the ashes to become this phenomenal actress that is just so fun and is super enjoyable in anything I've seen her in recently. And that, of course, is Miss Jenna Ortega. Oh yeah, Jenna Ortega. Woo, Jenna Ortega. So Jenna Ortega, you might recognize, of course, from the Wednesday TV series that Tim Burton has done. You might recognize her from X. You might recognize her from a few other things over the years and recent things that she's done. And she is really a great actress. At first impressions of her wasn't too happy with her. I didn't care too much for her in Scream 5. And she kind of was irritating, and I didn't think she was a great actress, and I didn't really enjoy her. But then after I started seeing her in other things, I really came to enjoy her and think that she became this really fantastic actress. And after seeing her on Wednesday and then in this and so forth, she is just becoming more and more better, and just is really, amazing talent that I'm really happy that I got to see in this film as Lydia Dietz' daughter. Now, Jenna Ortega is one of those people that, she kind of plays very similar characters in everything she does, but I do appreciate that her character in this was a little different than I had seen in other things. It's still that very, oh, I know better than you type of attitude, but at the same time, she definitely throughout the film evolves and gets, becomes smarter and more, apt to openness and stuff like that throughout the film, and I really enjoyed that Jenna did a great job of bringing that to life and giving us a lot more in this film. Now, if you haven't seen Jenna Ortega or things, one movie to check her out in that I think she is her best in so far, that she is so amazing in, was a great film that came out last year called Scream 6. Yeah! Scream 6. Yeah! Absolutely thought she was so fantastic in this film. I honestly think this is my all-time favorite Scream film, of all time now. Scream 6 is just a really great film. Everything about it was so well written, so well directed, so well acted. Everything about this was a solid sequel that surpassed its predecessor. And Jenna was just really amazing as her character in this. I loved her evolution from the first film that she was in to this one. I like that, you know, she even kind of falls back into a little bit of her ways from the first film, but then you see her like realize, I can't get back into that rut, and I gotta move on and, you know, be more mature and, you know, grow and stuff like that. And I love that. I love that Jenna really showed a differentness and a different characterization of her character Tara. And I really enjoyed everything she brought to that characterization, and just really showed how talented of an actress she really is. If you haven't seen her in Scream 6, definitely check her out. She did a really fantastic job. But I really enjoyed her as her character in the film Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. I loved her being the daughter of Lydia. I thought they worked, and their chemistry was really strong. There's some great scenes with her that she plays off the other characters so well. And I just think that this is a really great stepping stone for her to show that, you know, she's got talent and that she's got more to show. And I think that she, you know, even has a future as this character too in more Beetlejuice films or spin-offs. And I just really enjoyed her character and thought overall Jenna did a great job. If you haven't seen Jenna Ortega anything recently, go check her out in Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. She was absolutely fantastic. So that brings me to the final actress I like to talk about this film, and that is none other than Lydia Dietz herself, Miss Winona Ryder. Oh yeah, Winona Ryder, woo! Winona Ryder, yeah! So Winona Ryder, you know, she was really big in the 90s. She, you know, was pretty popular through the early 2000s and then kind of died out a little bit. She really started making a comeback when she did Stranger Things and so forth. And I think that, you know, Winona has always been a great actress. I've enjoyed her. I think that she's evolved into a great woman. And I think that she's just overall a decent actress. And I think that there's definitely some films that she's not as good in as other films. But I tell you what, her returning as Lydia Dietz was fantastic. I absolutely loved the evolution of the character. I loved what Winona did with the character in this film, and I think that it played off in the movie really well. I mean, that beginning sequence where she's like on the show and then she goes in the bathroom to take the pills was so well conceived and well done, and just really showed kind of the evolution of where Lydia is at from where she was, where we saw her as a teenager in the first film. And I thought that it was interesting that they have her like trying to, you know, calm certain things about Beetlejuice with using pills. And I thought that was kind of a great evolution of, you know, a teen going from a teen to an adult dealing with a mental problem, basically. And I thought that was really done well. And I thought Winona did a great job. Now, Winona was just, I think, worked so well with everyone in this film. I loved her relationship with Jenna Ortega in the film, Astrid, and her and Astrid just worked really well together. And I just thought Winona did a great job of bringing back Lydia, giving us a really great evolution of the character, and overall was just a really well done performance. And Winona is just a great actress. You know, like I said, I can't say enough good things about her, and I think she really proved once again how great of an actress she was by bringing this character back and giving her this kind of growth and this difference, you know, from what she was as a teenager. And I love that. And I love that she got the chance to do that. And I think that overall, it just was a really great performance for the film that was super fun. Now, if you haven't seen Winona Ryder or anything, definitely a film to check her out in. It's a great comedy film that came out in the early 2000s with Adam Sandler called Mr. Deeds. Yeah! Mr. Deeds, yeah! Absolutely loved her in this film. I love her as Babes in the film. She's absolutely freaking awesome, hilarious, and just fun. And I think she just played the character so well. And it was a very different type of woman in love, kind of love triangle for Adam Sandler in that film with Winona Ryder. I thought it was definitely different than the other ones we had seen, like with Drew Barrymore and like Patricia Arquette and Little Nicky and the different films he's done up to that point. And it's just kind of funny how their dynamic was so different, I felt, out of all of them, and I just really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a great kind of new, different type of relationship that was super awesome. And I thought just Winona was so great in that film. She looked great, she was funny, she was awesome, she kicked butt, and I think that she really, you know, gave really good comedy chops in the film and just really was fun. If you haven't seen Winona Ryder and think, definitely check her out in Mr. Deeds. She did a great job in that film. But overall, I think she was a fantastic, amazing, awesome, reinterpretation of Lydia in this film. I loved what she did with it. And I think overall she had some really great scenes throughout the whole film, especially the scene where she ends up finding out that, that boy is dead. It was awesome, and she just did a great job of playing a really awesome mother, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought she did a fantastic job. If you haven't seen her in anything recently, definitely go check out Beetlejuice now in theaters. She was phenomenal. So some great honorable mentions that were added to this film was a great cameo appearance by the great Danny DeVito. He is absolutely one of my all-time favorite actors, and he makes a brief appearance in the film at the beginning of the film, and he was just absolutely awesome. So Danny DeVito, so much like his It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia type of character, Frank. It was so well done, so awesome. We also had William Dafoe in it, who played an amazing character as well. Basically a dead actor that is trying to be a detective in the underworld. And then, of course, we have the beautiful, amazing, gorgeous, sexy Miss Monica Bellucci coming in as Beetlejuice's ex-wife. Oh my God, that woman never ages, I swear to God, and she was absolutely fantastic. It wasn't a huge role, but still, what she brought to the characterization was so fun and just really amazing and a great addition to the film. And if you haven't seen any of those actors recently, check them out on Beetlejuice. They did a phenomenal job. But what is Beetlejuice about? So basically, the premise of the story is, Lydia keeps seeing visions of Beetlejuice and can't figure out why. And the reason why she keeps seeing Beetlejuice is because now it's been, almost 40 years later, and Beetlejuice once again needs to marry somebody so that he can keep from being killed by his ex-wife, played by Monica Bellucci. And so basically, with what's going on, her father dies and all this kind of stuff. She basically has to have Beetlejuice come out to help her out in the real world. And basically it's about all the antics that kind of go on with their family going through this crazy time and kind of what they've been up to for the last 40 years. Really well done film. Lots of great scenes throughout this film. Oh my gosh, the outfit, the construction of what has happened to Charles Dietz being bit by the shark was absolutely freaking awesome looking. The guy in the suit. Catherine O'Hara looked amazing. She was awesome once again as her character. And then, of course, Lydia and, Astrid looked amazing in their different colors and looks and stuff like that. We had great sequences with Justin Theroux as well, and he was absolutely hilarious in the film. There's an ending sequence with a song and dance was absolutely freaking hilarious as well. There's a scene where Beetlejuice is telling a backstory, but it's in Spanish, which was absolutely freaking hilarious. I mean, there were so many great scenes and things throughout this whole film that were just so enjoyable. And some of the things that I feel they wanted to really give more story to certain things that they didn't get to in the first film. And even Tim Burton said that he wanted to bring things up that he didn't get to finish or things that he didn't get to really, talk about in the first film. And that because they were so focused on the Maitlands. And that's one thing he mentioned in a recent interview was that he really wanted to get away from the Maitlands. And that's kind of one of the reasons why they're not really in the film, why they're very little mentioned. And I think that was a fantastic idea because the focus more on this family was, I think, a lot better and made it more enjoyable. Great film. If you have not seen it, highly recommend go check it out in theaters now. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up. Can't wait to add this to the collection. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely worth a watch, people. Go see it now in theaters. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. If this is your first time here, or you haven't before, don't forget to check out any older new videos you might not see mine yet. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here, please check out my awesome Patreon page, where you get all kinds of extra accoutrement you don't get here on my channel, such as outtakes, bloopers, all that kind of cool stuff you don't get to see here on the channel. You also get cool merch and stuff like that as well, and all that kind of cool stuff. So definitely something to look into. Help the channel out. As always, huge shout out to my new and old followers. Thank you so much for being subscribers. You guys are rocking it. As always, catch you next one.